You read direction and rather catch me say, what year your Bible?
Now, when we finished the direction which God gave me, the Lord said to me, He has heard our prayer.
2 weeks, Papa, 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks,
Nana Akuffo Addo, US.
The president, Nana Akuffo Addo, was traveling.
I believe, sir, about Joy Online.
Now, I believe that this story was reported on Joy Online.
About social media, so those days.
It went viral on social media in those days.
Nana Akuffo Addo plane no taking off on the jato.
Now, when the plane wherein the president sat took off, one of the engines caught fire.
God being so good, and a pilot.
God being so good, the altitude they had reached was not so high, so the pilot came down and landed. Now,
So to play with Jatom was
now before
and
that before that day, the Lord had already given me a revelation that the president was traveling by air and the aircraft caught fire. And so imagine God did not reveal it, and even if after God had revealed it, we did not pray about it and we did not deal with it. Just imagine what would have happened. Strange that some people believe that this God doesn't exist.
Because the angels, the elders,
because even his angels and the elders who dwell in heaven with him have not seen him. Yes, they know his presence, they feel his presence, but they have not yet seen him. Elijah said, go ahead, take the lead, start. So while they started and they were putting things together, he said, so long as I am here, what you are doing will not be successful. Now, if anybody thinks that he's got power, if anybody believes that he's got power, so he can use his evil power to take the life, to take a leader or choose a leader, that person is joking.
Sir President, who told you
to take the life of the president? That's a joke.
I'm saying, dear Koso, and then seminar neaka. Osofu, TMA, menka so bi bemia ongudawo. Now,
I am not saying that if there is anybody who is very close to me, that person will never die. But if it is not yet your time, who God has brought to dwell under my wings,
so
even if that person is in the mouth of death, that person will come out again.
I just said unless
the person is disobedient, obstinate, hardened heart, stiff-necked. Now, as they were performing their rituals and they were ascending in the spiritual realm, Elijah was drawing them down.
No, my penny beat Ghana Kunyaso.
Now, in a certain time when we used to have a certain president,
my bedroom.
I was in my room, my bedroom.
Me fear so how said I never be as
now, and the house where I live is not very nice. So it's not a place God should visit very often.
Because if you're in airport residential,
because my house is not in airport residential. I live at Agyemang.
Me fear you see say no. I ate it latest.
Now I built my house years ago, so it's not as new as some of the new house we have. I was in my room.
Na me nya fastings.
I was not fasting.
Na me mompayo.
I was not even praying.
And a divinity sumae. Emma na home visited me.
And divinity dispatched his spirits to visit me. God bears me witness. And the Spirit of the Lord said to me, about that time, that person who was the leader of Ghana,
Akuffo Addo.
At that time it was Nana Addo Akuffo Addo. And the Spirit of the Lord came to me and said to me, my servant, take a look at this. And so I took a look, and I saw the firmament of heaven, and I saw a plane, and I saw that the plane caught fire in the air. And at that time the president was in the plane, and there were some of the party leaders in the plane with him, and the vision left me. And I said to the Lord, Lord, what does this mean? And the Lord said to me, go and say to them, what I have revealed to you is about to happen. And I'm going to show you what you will do, so that you and their leaders will do together. And it is a prophetic direction, so that what you have seen and have showed you will not manifest. It will not come to pass. Now when I came to my consciousness, I called Nana Kwesi, and I told him, Nana, there is trouble, and if we don't act very fast, we will not hear good news, because the enemy wants to quench the candle light, the flame of the candle. And I said to Nana Kwesi, call Bishop Agyemang Prempeh for me, MPP headquarters, and then make a call to the party headquarters, NPP party headquarters. And I make Bishop Agyemang Prempeh, Prophet Agyemang Prempeh, MPP for one year, party leader, and say Mr. Freddie Blay. And then I asked Bishop Agyemang Prempeh, who is the party chairman of NPP, and he told me it was Mr. Freddie Blay. And I told Bishop Agyemang Prempeh to come to my house. So he came to my house, myself, Prophet Agyemang Prempeh, and Reverend Nana Kwesi, the three of us. Bishop Agyemang Prempeh is my witness. So Bishop Agyemang Prempeh is my witness. So we placed the call, and I told them, don't bother to drive here. I am driving there. I am coming there myself. Mr. Freddie Blay, Mr. Freddie Blay, don't come to me. I am coming to you. So we drove. Mr. Freddie Blay, so when we got there, Muslim Papa when we got there, there was Mr. Freddie Blay was there, and there was another man who was a Muslim who was there. So when I got there, I told them the revelation I had seen. Now, even before I ended what I was saying, while I was speaking, Mr. Freddie Blay, the man who was seated with Mr. Freddie Blay, who is or was a Muslim, he screamed out with a loud voice, and he said, Prophet of God, what you have just told us, I had a dream about it last night. I saw it in my dream. Muslim I'm saying, Osofa Agyemang Prempeh be Kennedy. Say a couple bompa na sofo krobia kan, sofo krobia kra se onim no. I am fani the ono ni din mame. Tiasema Muslim ne kan. Now listen to what the guy said. Muslim ne se onu hu ade pa. Now the man who was the Muslim seated with Mr. Freddie Blay said that he is gifted and he can see. No opposition or MPP abanum. Now at that time he occupied a position either in the party or in government. No, so before me so and he told me, Prophet of God, anytime I see something in a dream, it comes to pass. But last dawn, I had a dream, and that is what I saw. And that is what brought me to the party office to come and share the dream I have.
And also I can the same thing.
The dream I had with the party chairman, Mr. Freddie Blay, and you are here in the same moment, sharing the same revelation.
Honor Mr. Freddie Blay, friend Pennyphobia or more party officer.
So Mr. Freddie Blay invited some of the party officials who were at the party
Mr.
office.
Freddie Blay busa me say, "Enti Odifo Owusu Bempah yanya ne dan."
And he asked me, Prophet Owusu Bempah, what shall we do?
Na me kyerɛ omo ne a wo say.
And I told them what they ought to do.
Na ye.
And together,
3 days.
we did it together
Continuously.
for 3 days continuously.
Me ne masofo no, I believe say intercessors no kra me di bi kan ho koi.
I believe I
3 days.
selected some of the intercessors and some of my pastors, and we spent 3 days
Prayers and directions.
making prayer. 3 days making prayers.
MPP
prophetic
from
direction.
Pennyphone no bebre by.
Lots of the leaders. Lots of the leaders in MPP were there while we were praying.
You read direction and radical catch me say, what here Bible.
Now, when we finished the direction which God gave me, the Lord said to me, He has heard our prayer.
2 weeks, Papa, 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks,
Nana Akuffo Addo, US.
the president, Plànê Crâsh, was traveling.
I believe, sir, about Joy Online. Papa can.
Now, I believe that this story was reported on Joy Online.
About social media, so those days.
It went viral on social media in those days.
Nana Akuffo Addo plane no taking off on a jato.
Now, when the plane wherein the president sat took off, one of the engines caught fire.
God being so good, and a pilot.
God being so good, the altitude they had reached was not so high, so the pilot came down and landed. Now,
So to play my jato was
now before that before that day, the Lord had already given me a revelation that the president was traveling by air and the aircraft caught fire. And so imagine God did not reveal it, and even if after God had revealed it, we did not pray about it and we did not deal with it. Just imagine what would have happened. You see, I didn't make noise about this. Some of you will be hearing this for the very first time, perhaps.
Because
we don't do these things to boast about them. So God used the prophets and the servants of God to save the life of the president of Ghana at that time. And so there is this point I want to make. I want to say this. Men of God and prophets in Ghana. If Ghanaians will listen to what I'm about to say, let's leave the prophets and the men of God alone, so that whatever they will see which is destructive, they will have the liberty to speak about it, talk about it, and then the hearers will do something about it, so that God will deliver the nation from destruction. Now, if you have a revelation and you want to talk about it, you'll entertain some amount of fear,
because
many people in the nation do not respect prophets, because they are labeled prophets as evil. They call prophet names like fake prophets. Now I cannot stand here and say to you that every prophet is of God. Now, so long as God has not given me the power of judgment to judge others, I cannot judge anyone. So, though it is true that there are some which are not genuine, some which are fake, let's also concede on the fact that there are some which are genuine and authentic. Not all of us are fake. There are many men of God that are genuine.
Even the officer on your mpo.
Now, even that person you believe to
When
fake,
judge.
who made you a judge?
Only when so be fear ni atai.
Who are you to judge someone of another man's house?
Enti kakra bi nye. Enti yen condemn ni nyina.
So the fact that a handful of them are not genuine, should we condemn all? Should we throw the baby out with the bathwater?
So for those who didn't know what Apostle Dr. Owusu Bempah was talking about, this was the report he said by Joy Online on the 30th of September 2018 around 12:45 p.m. where they made this report on their official page. When you go there, it is there that Akuffo Addo endangers as presidential jet malfunction mid-air. So they were on the air and the plane started malfunctioning, so it requested for emergency landing. So let's say, so President Akuffo Addo and his delegation have escaped what could have been a fatal accident after the presidential jet malfunctioned mid-air last Saturday. The president was returning to Ghana from the UN General Assembly in New York when one of the engine went off. The incident happened 30 minutes after taking off from Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Sources said the aircraft had to fly a number of times to burn fuel before being located to land. Arrangement has, however, been made for the president and his delegation to return on commercial flight. The Falcon 900, which cost $37 million, has had to make 2 emergency landings in the last 8 years. In December 2010, the jet made an emergency landing on a Libya air trip en routing through Burkina Faso. It was carrying then Vice President John Dramani Mahama, now the president, football legend Abedi Pele, and a businessman who was called by the name Alhaji Amusma Banda when a fault was detected in the engine. In March 2015, friction between the wheels and the runway caused fire on the jet while it was attempting to take off to Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. So this is to tell you, sorry for this, this is to tell you that this thing, it's not the first time this thing is happening. So according to the report, this is the second that it happened twice, emergency landing twice. The Falcon 900, they said, was purchased in July 2010 after the Mills administration said the Fokker 28 presidential jet, otherwise known as the Flying Coffee, was too old to be useful to the government. So this was what President Mills, then his administration, suggested, that it was the plane is old, the plane is grown old, and it's not useful to the government, it's too old to be useful to the government, so they should purchase another. And that was a request that was made during the late former president John Evans Atafifi Mills. So they made that suggestion that a new one should be bought because this one was bought in 2010 and it has become too old to be used to the government. So that was what they discussed in 2010 in 2009, because it was bought in 2000. That's what they said. But the Mills administration was slammed by the opposition NPP for making a U-turn while in opposition, and the NDC has resisted moves by the then NPP government to purchase the jet for President John Kufuor. Instead, the economy was not in good shape for the comfort of a presidential jet. But the Mills government will later go for a Brazilian credit facility to buy the 12-seater Falcon 900 and an Airbus for the military. So he said NPP want to buy during Kufuor's time, and they said the economy was in crisis, so no presidential jet should be bought because the president want to live in luxury, in comfortable, want him to live in a comfortable life. But the ordinary Ghanaian were suffering. That was what the NDC were saying at that time. So they shouldn't buy. But when Mills came into power, later they bought a 12-seater Falcon 900 for the president and an Airbus for the military. So this is what they did after they took over. So those jet and those Airbus was bought by the NDC when they were in power. So this was the news where Akuffo Addo playing malfunction.